you become 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And I love that.
Yeah, I think 10 foot fall and bulletproof is one is knowing the environment that keeps you 10 foot tall and bulletproof. So I
Mhm.
have certain people that I spend time with. I have certain very specific people that I share my doubts, my concerns, my
Mhm.
where I put my armor down in a
Yeah.
little bit in terms of that 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and they kind of or they patch it up. That's a better analogy. They
Yeah.
patch it up. They go, there's a nick, there's a chink there. Let's patch that in. I have a certain group of people that are willing to do that.
Yeah.
I think another one is constantly pouring into myself. So
Yeah.
reading, listening to audios, reading, um, just filling myself up because, if I don't decide what rents space in my head, the wrong things will start to rent space in my head. So I keep myself very focused. I look at what's influencing me. What am I listening to? How much time am I spending on social media? Who am I following on social media? What am I reading on social media? One of the things in the pandemic, one of the things I had to say to a friend was stop listening to all that stuff because every time I meet her, her anxiety was through the roof.
Right.
And so for me, I'm a need to know person. I go get what I need to know, and then
Mhm.
I keep it cool, particularly when it comes to negative news, when it comes to stuff that I just need to know what I need to know, and the rest, life is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the things for me that I use to just keep it, you know, I'm
Yeah.
pointing true north.
Yeah, I like that. And like you said, one of the things that, stand out for me is the environment. So who are you surrounding yourself with? So one of the things that I was blessed with. I'm just going to go ahead and phrase it that way. I was blessed with when I started on the journey. I went ahead and I enrolled in one of those business incubators. And I gave
Nice.
myself the opportunity to get up every single day and get dressed as if I was going to my 9 to 5. If I could go to the 9 to 5 every day, I could get up and I could go to work in my business. And I remember just going to the business incubator every day. And it just gave me the opportunity to be surrounded with other entrepreneurs. Everyone was in action all day, everyone was working on something. And so that was kind of like my armor,
Yeah, got it.
and it helped me to build that, routine. And so oftentimes what I see a lot of people step onto the journey of entrepreneurship, but they don't change their environment. So they're still hanging with the same, friends that they have. Not that friends are bad, but they're still hanging with people that aren't on the same journey. And so those people really and truly can't understand
Yeah.
because it's not their journey. They're not doing it. So when those times come up where you do feel low, they don't know how to truly support you because they're not on the journey. So that's a big thing, for me. And then second, being able to keep relationships intact by just saying, I get it. You might not agree with what I'm doing. So we're just going to have to respectfully agree to disagree and just keep it moving. And, well, for me, I try to refrain from telling people what to do. So for me, it was just kind of managing, those relationships. So if I find that you were that person who, always had the negative, then I'll just limit, time spent
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely, absolutely. One of the questions I learned to ask myself, particularly when I didn't feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and when doubt came in, was if not this, then what?
Hmm.
If not this, then what? And what was interesting, the then what was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, and and the if thought this, then what? The quick what is get a job, and I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, 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 no. I'd be like, "Oh, this is great. This is great. Whatever we're going through right now
You
is
know,
great." And so because, when you really start to ask the question, "If not this, then what?" The
hmm
then what, you really have to ask, "Is it greener on the other side?" Well,
right.
no, it's different.
Yeah.
And it has different pains and different struggles.
Yeah.
This has its pains and struggles, and that has its pains and struggles. For me, it was what has the most benefit to me in terms of
Hmm.
soul, in terms of making me happy, in terms of making me feel like a contributor. And whenever it is, I always come back to this thing,
Yeah.
right? And so if it's this thing, why not just do the do and ride the
Right.
journey and know that you're going to come out the other side? And you know, people might be wondering, why is this conversation so key for influencers? And I think part of it is because as people who have chosen to step out of the box and
Mhm.
chart our own path, one of the biggest things about being attractive and staying attractive is how we manage our doubt and our energy on the journey. And so, how many of you have seen influencers in the marketplace talking about some stuff and you're just like, ooh,
Mhm.
I'm like, you're not believable right now.
Yeah.
And they're how they're presenting themselves does not position them in a light where you say, I'm hooking my cart to this wagon.
Right.
So part of it is this awareness of the challenging parts of the journey and how do we talk about it? Because it's not about not talking about it, but how do you talk about it where you still lift people up, where
Yeah.
you still inspire people, where you say, this is real, but I got a solution. I went through this, but, and now I'm in total storytelling. However, that is what we are required to do as influencers. We are solution focused people. We are people that come to the table with ideas and ways of overcoming all sorts of things. We are people who can struggle, but say there's a solution and I am going to find it. That's what it means to be an influencer. You're charting a new path when you put that idea into the marketplace. This is
Yeah.
why these conversations are so key.
Yeah. It always reminds me all the time that the experience is for us, but the lessons are for others. And so that's what it's all about. It's all about how are we journeying? And I think it's something that you say all the time. People really don't really care about your success and your accolades. What they care about is the journey. How did you get there? What did you have to overcome? What are the things that I could learn, from you that I could pick up to help me get, to where I desire to go? So great, great, great.